So it's been 2 weeks since the airing of the infamous episode, which marked the curtain call for Naruto and Sasuke. Sure, they are not technically dead yet, but this is certainly the end of an era moment for both of these characters because they lost two of their biggest arsenals of all time. Now, before you say anything more, I know that Naruto still has access to Perfect Sage, which is a really strong technique which I hope is going to be involved or introduced more in the future of the Boruto series. At the same time, Sasuke also has his Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan left, along with some very hacks abilities like Amaterasu. But in spite of all of that, it's not wrong to say that Naruto and Sasuke have lost two of their biggest hacks abilities, or you could say biggest arsenals and weaponaries, in the form of Kurama for Naruto and the Rinnegan in the case of Sasuke. That is an absolute fact, that is something which could not be changed at all. So hello and welcome to NYZ, and today we are going to analyze the nerf of Naruto and Sasuke. Now this is a topic which I wanted to talk about for a very long time, especially from the moment when we got to witness this in the manga, but I just held it off for a while until the anime actually aired this thing because I feel like this is going to be a better moment to actually talk about this particular phenomenon, because yes, unfortunately this is technically falling under the categories of a nerf, and let's analyze it basically whether it was something good or bad or where exactly did it go wrong. But before that, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to our channel since I do weekly anime and manga related content along with a bunch of other stuff. With that being said, let's begin the video. Now right out of the bat, let me tell you all that the way in which this was executed was not really great. For Naruto, I can understand that this was the Baryon mode, which was really spectacular, so I can give it a pass in a way, even though it was something which is not justifiable a lot by the story perspective. On the other hand, what happened to Sasuke is more justifiable if we keep a story narrative, especially how the Rinnegan was the bane of the existence for so many different Otsutsuki characters. So it's obvious that the Rinnegan should have been targeted by these OP Otsutsuki clan members, but the manner in which the anime as well as the manga handled this particular circumstance, it was just outright terrible. And this is not just me being a fanboy of the original series. Let me tell you all, I'm a relatively new fan. I started the Naruto series in 2019, but even then I can tell you that this was a bad nerf, and I'm going to explain that in just a bit. But in order to do that, I need to go back to the original Naruto Shippuden days, or rather to be very specific, the end of the war, because that is the moment where everything sort of went haywire. That is basically the moment when Kishimoto just literally took off the chakra plot point from the entire series. There was no chakra reserve, there was no chakra barrier anymore, and characters were just free to do whatever OP jutsus that they actually wanted without even thinking about what exactly is chakra reserve. That is a bad story plot in itself, and unfortunately Boruto the series has to pay the aftermath or the price for a decision like that. Because if you remember, at the end of the war, or like towards the very end of the war, when Naruto and Sasuke were blessed by the powers of the Sage of Six Paths, everything just happened right out of nowhere. Sasuke was simply spamming so many OP jutsus right out of nowhere. He used Indra's arrows, he used so many OP versions of the Susanoo, and there was literally nothing which he needed to worry about. He was effectively using the abilities of the Rinnegan, and guess what, this was not even a regular Rinnegan. Even Madara acknowledged that this was a special one because this was the Choku Tomoe Rinnegan. This is something really special because it is being, after all, blessed by the Sage of Six Paths chakra. So that's why it's a really OP stuff, and he's able to utilize a lot of the moves of his predecessor in the form of Indra Otsutsuki. He was able to use the perfect Susanoo, he was able to trap all the tailed beasts in these massive Chibaku Tenseis, and he was basically able to use, or rather exploit, everything that the Rinnegan offered. So from there we arrive in the present, where Sasuke is just struggling to keep up. He's having chakra deficiencies and he's like getting out of chakra or getting low reserve on chakra after using a couple of Amanataji Garas. So that's exactly where the problem arises for the Boruto series. But unfortunately, this is not a true problem for the Boruto series as a whole, but rather it's a power creep that happened in the end of Naruto in itself. Because at that time, no one was really caring about chakra reserves. Hell, even Kakashi, a character who has never been able to use Susanoo in his entire life, he was somehow just magically blessed by dual Mangekyo Sharingan. I mean, sure, I can even get a leeway for that as well. We saw so many weird stuff from Obito. I can just say that, okay, Obito somehow blessed Kakashi with a parting gift. That's fine. But just after that, he was able to utilize the perfect Susanoo. How is that even possible? There's absolutely no explanation for that. I mean, sure, for Naruto and Sasuke, the obvious answer is that they got hacks from Hashirama, they got the hacks OP abilities of the Sage of Six Paths, so everything was just molded or patched together by these two things. But what about Kakashi and what about the other characters? How were they able to get so much chakra when they struggled for the entire series up until that moment? Kakashi was a character who suffered just after using a couple of different Kamui attacks, and now he's able to pull off a perfect Susanoo along with Kamui Shurikens. That's just weird and absurd, and I've not even entered the territory about Naruto yet. So with this, you can basically understand how the power creep essentially happens. But unfortunately, here I'm going to give the benefit of doubt to Sasuke because I already have a separate video talking about why exactly Sasuke was facing so much chakra constraints. There's a very good theory about that, which I'm going to talk about very soon. But for the most part, Sasuke's lack of chakra is still sort of explainable to some extent, but a major part about it, a major complaint about it has been the power creep, because on one hand we got to see a pre-adult Sasuke, a teen Sasuke who is able to do all of these OP stuff, and the current adult Sasuke who is not even utilizing the Rinnegan in a proper manner. When Rinnegan was first introduced in the series, it was this OP God Eye. This was literally the eye of the god, which was able to do so many different stuff. Pain utilized the Rinnegan in probably the best manner possible. He used all the parts of Rinnegan effectively, but unfortunately that is something which Sasuke has never done so far in the series, and that has been a major source of criticism and complaint, because let's be real, why? Why is Sasuke not doing it other than maybe the chakra constraint part? Sure, you could say that something like this is because he didn't really needed to do it, but at the same time there are so many possibilities and so many points in the series where he could have effectively used the Rinnegan to come out of a pinch, because the introduction of karma effectively ruins ninjutsu as a whole. It just brings about and ruins the plot point of ninjutsu, because this is a hacks ability which can absorb every single ninjutsu techniques. So in a moment like that, the Rinnegan should actually be quite useful, because it doesn't just require ninjutsu as a whole, it has a whole array of stuff on its own. So it's just sad that Sasuke had to go through something like this, because right after the end of the Momoshiki fight, I knew that Sasuke's Rinnegan was going to be targeted. That's an absolute fact. It is something which Momoshiki hated, it is also something which Ishiki hated. They all were like, that damn Rinnegan, I want to destroy that. So it's pretty obvious that the Borushiki form is going to target the Rinnegan of Sasuke, but the manner in which it happened, that's my only complaint here, that's the only issue. The nerf, it's fine, it's understandable why this nerf is actually happening, because hey, this is a sequel, they need to introduce power creep for Boruto, but the way in which it happened was just really sad. Again, I will give the benefit of doubt to the writers of Boruto. Sasuke was totally out of chakra here, and after defeating Ishiki Otsutsuki, he let his guard down, and that's exactly the reason why he was taken down and why the Rinnegan was destroyed. But yet again the question remains, did we actually get to see something amazing and meaningful from the character of Sasuke, or rather adult Sasuke, using the hacks abilities of the Rinnegan? That is unfortunately not happening anymore, or that has unfortunately not happened throughout the entire series, and that is one of my major complaints so far. Now coming to Naruto, however, I feel like the execution was good, but the idea is absolutely lame. When was this even specified that Kurama or any of the tail beasts for that matter would have been able to utilize a form like this? I mean, on paper it sounds like a very good theory that this is a fusion reaction, this is like a nuclear fusion where two energies are being combined to produce a new energy. It's fine and all, but how is that actually happening? There was no foreshadow for it, we absolutely had no idea something like that could even happen, and since it was a very hype stuff, everyone sort of forgot why it actually happened. But nonetheless, Kurama is dead now, and that is the major nerf for Naruto. I'm not gonna complain a lot about Naruto here, because let's be real, Kurama is going to come back towards the end of the series. That is something which I can absolutely bet upon. Sure, Kurama is dead right now and maybe he's going to stay dead for the remainder of the series, but towards the very end, when Naruto is sort of sent into the quote-unquote undisclosed location by Kawaki, when he eventually comes back, Kurama is going to have a cameo role, and that is going to be absolutely amazing to watch. Kurama is eventually going to return, but either way, this is the major nerf for both the characters of Naruto and Sasuke. I feel like this was going to happen, this was important to some extent, but the major issue here is that the manner in which it actually happened, it's just something which is not desirable at all. That is my analysis so far on the Naruto and Sasuke situation. It could have been handled better. It's understood why Sasuke's Rinnegan would have been targeted by the enemy. At the same time, it is quite understandable why Kurama died instead of Naruto, because he is the symbol, he's the face of the series overall. It's going to be very rough and very harsh of a decision to kill the major central character of the series in the form of Naruto. So it makes sense for these decisions to actually happen. Again, another major point here is that the Rinnegan is a major technique for the space-time based ninjutsu techniques, and they needed to take that out in order to give Boruto more leeway. Otherwise, Sasuke would have just popped off at any single location whatsoever. So, like I said, it's an unfortunate truth. These nerfs needed to have been happened for the Boruto series to move forward, but unfortunately the issue here is the execution overall. The Byron mode looked cool both in the anime as well as in the manga, but unfortunately for Sasuke, he's the one who is getting the shorthand of the stick here, and it's just pathetic to see him suffer so much. What happens for him in the future, that's something we are going to talk about in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime guys, this is it for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more. This is WonderYZ, see you all on the next one. In the meantime, be sure to join the channel membership for some very cool perks and features, and join the Discord server for more. See you all on the next one.